Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Historical Humans Reacts. And today's video is brought to you by us.
Yep. We are excited to announce the launch of Humanitarian's Collection. It's a little shop where we sell shirts, and we are currently selling our shirts for charity, as we are want to do here. We are supporting the Trevor Project, which is a nonprofit dedicated to the prevention of suicide within the LGBTQ community. So please do go check it out.
Yep, every sale on the website goes to directly support the Trevor Project. And on that note, we'll jump right in. So, archaeologists discover a 1.2 million year old workshop in a mind blowing find. And this discovery pushes the timeline of obsidian tools back by an astonishing 500,000 years.
Yep.
Is that dramatic enough? Like, did I build enough
Yes,
suspense?
yes, yes.
I
All
think
right,
what
all
will
right.
make it even more
All right, let's
dramatic are
let,
the
let's
fact that they found nearly 600 hand axes. 600, nearly 600, which means
we are
people were doing this for a long time and they were good at it.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. It should be noted that this treasure trove is in the cradle of the human race, Ethiopia, and yeah, the obsidian hex. There was a scarily large number of them.
What's
Just
kind
look at the image. All those rocks. Those are all hand axes. All those little black rocks.
What's really cool about this to me is one, it shows large scale production because, you know, these aren't used hand axes. They're like a pre production, basically. They're producing them at a large scale, for one. And two, we don't actually know which humans made this. They think that it's a proto hominid, a pre human, one of our ancestors. And it's kind of interesting because human cultures relied on obsidian for both aesthetic and functional purposes over several millennia. However, it spans all the way back to the Pleistocene. And it's
So
Well,
just
here,
we're who's
uh,
who's here in this area? Is it Erectus? Is it
Erectus,
um
habilis.
yeah.
most of them, yeah.
Most hominids are in Africa. It's the ones that get
Australopithecus.
outside of Africa that are the exceptions to the
Yeah,
rule.
Homo erectus got all the way to the Philippines, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's also in present in Africa.
Or am I thinking Indonesia?
I don't know. Um, maybe both, maybe one or the other. But what I want to get at here is just the fact that we are looking at obsidian, which is a notoriously dangerous tool to work. Obsidian is known for cutting you. It's very sharp, and the fact that these hand axes are made from obsidian and not a more safe material like chert uh, says to us that they knew already how useful this was, even though it's something that you make one misstep and it hurts you.
Oh
So for
man,
those at
Obsidian would have been
home,
great.
obsidian, when you flint knap it, it shatters like glass. However, it has such a fine razor sharp edge that it is a more um
It's better than a diamond scalpel.
yeah, to the point where in certain surgeries they use an obsidian tipped instrument because it is more precise than anything we can recreate. And that's phenomenal, and it's a really brittle material, so when you actually go to flint knap it, if you do it poorly or you do it incorrectly, it shatters. You
Yeah,
can't
it is.
recover it.
And it shatters, and it's most likely going to shatter into you. And these are razor blades sharper than steel.
If anyone hasn't done flint napping before,
Highly recommend it.
I
It's a lot of fun, but it's
yeah,
Don't
if
dangerous.
you've
start with
ever done
obsidian.
it,
Don't start with obsidian.
yeah, don't start with obsidian. But even the process of like flint napping in general, like you have, they usually have like some sort of like protective wear. They did not, and that's just using like chert using and they're
Mm.
using it on obsidian. That
To be
is
fair,
cut up hands
Aaron,
everywhere.
to be fair, they did use leather padding. They would use hides of animals to protect themselves.
I'm sure. I'm sure they
But you know
did.
that
But
there's always that hardo that doesn't use anything. That's just like
For-
hands just bleeding everywhere. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm a real man. I'm bleeding
For
while I flip
comparison,
nap.
this right here, this is a chert scraper I made about 6 or 7 years ago. I punched myself in the knee with a rock repeatedly to make this over the course of about 30 minutes, and it's not even a good one.
I have some
So
really
this
crappy
is
obsidian
this is
scrapers at
a
home.
yeah, this is a
Okay.
painful process at the best of times.
I've got a few of my own, and I used the bottom. I've used actual chert, but I've also used the bottom of glass bottles, and so I got to use a few of those. But still, working with obsidian, I mean, even the ones they probably completed must have been amazing for scraping away meat from bone.
Oh yeah, and the other thing that this article doesn't mention that I think is really interesting is it doesn't it doesn't tell you how it got the dates. But I do know how they would have gotten the dates.
Yeah.
Is obsidian you're actually able to date when it was cut, when it was actually sliced. Um, Obsidian traps certain amounts of carbon inside of it, and you're actually able to tell when the material was napped based off of how fresh that cut into the rock is.
Yeah.
So you're telling me they didn't carbon date obsidian?
Yeah.
Well, gee, Aaron, I can't imagine why they weren't able to do that.
Well, my favorite part in all this too is that obsidian is volcanic glass. That's the layman's term for it, is volcanic glass. This isn't mountainside volcano base obsidian. No, this is river deposit obsidian. All this obsidian was fished from a river and then napped into tools. So that is a fun extra step into how we get obsidian without living at the base of Mount Doom.
Which is,
I mean, that also would explain the obsidian having a more smoother edge than like just straight out mined.
Okay, but
because river water.
Aaron, I have actually flint napped with water worn quartz and chert. And let me tell you that the rounded edges do not make it any easier. They actually
Really?
make it harder, 100%. You
Yeah,
want those sharp edges because then you're able to actually flake away the material.
Yeah, you can get a nice edge to like
No,
chip.
round sucks. And then that also tells you that they're not quarrying it, which is another, like, it's easy to quarry large amounts of rock. Well, easy relatively to quarry large amounts of rock. If they're going in the river and picking up sections of obsidian,
they're fishing for it
to make 600 hand axes, and that's the ones we found. You don't know how many other ones they have actually produced and were utilized that have been destroyed or lost or forgotten.
Yeah, you want the river rock to be the rock you're using to beat the other rock into shape with. You do not want to be beating on the river rock. And we have river obsidian. So if we just found the extra hard difficulty mode.
I guess this isn't too far fetched to think that they would have been working with obsidian, considering that if the general idea is that the first fire would have been, they would have used flint, right, to create fire. So the concept of already just smacking rocks together to get a reaction or to get to do stuff.
That's already proven. It's just when you smack flint on things, it doesn't cut you.
True.
This is very tricksy material, but yeah, it's very fun and it's very exciting because now we have more and more signs of advanced tool use earlier and earlier, which really does redefine what it means to be human and how we set ourselves apart from other species.
And I will say, a lot of these articles, they make archaeologists sound like this is the most mind-blowing discovery. However, in reality, within the inner circle of the field, we knew that this stuff is out there, and that's kind of the crux of the field. Is we know that there is this information that's available. We just have to find it. That's like 90% of the battle, is just trying to find it to validate our thoughts and our theories.
Yeah.
And then
Or-
also spending all the time and effort writing peer-reviewed articles.
Not to mention the writing of
That-
the grants to try and get
that-
funding to do scientific
That's how you validate
analysis.
it. That's all part of validating it. There is a way to do things, and it is not digging in your backyard.
And on that unfortunate bombshell, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Please be sure to check out the Humanitarian collections. We're really excited about it. And be sure to tune in our future videos. Thank you for watching.